Welcome in, everybody. It is 11:40 in the morning Eastern Time on October 11th, 2025, and it is time for the BodySlamNet post-show review of WWE's Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia. I'm Max Stenenberg. This is Rami, as always, bringing you our WWE PLE post shows, the second PLE on the ESPN Unlimited app. 6 matches. We have a lot. I'm sorry, 5 matches. We have a lot to get into here. Rami, how you doing on this Saturday morning? You're 3 hours behind me, so this show started at 5 in the morning, LA time for you. Talk about the experience and all of that here with this show.
I hated it. So, I went to bed like at midnight or so. I was like watching some late night horror films like Evil Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and whatnot. So I was like, it's time to go to bed. I gotta get some rest, or else I'll be a cranky motherfucker at 5 in the morning. I woke up at 4 in the morning. I was still cranky, and I had to wait the whole pre-show just to be able to get to the goddamn show. Just for everything, for all the action to get together. It's so funny that a few days ago we were told that the opener, which was Reed and Reigns, would be the main event, and I was like, that makes no sense. You can't really do
Yeah.
that, even if he's the hometown guy. But it was good to watch the show. But for a 5 a.m. show for Crown Jewel and for a 5 a.m. show like Monday Night Raw, please don't do this again. Please. I understand these overseas people, like Australia, Europe, Italy, Sweden, all these types of places, they all have to deal with the same things that I had to deal with. Keep it
Yeah.
up, guys. You're doing a great job, but I don't need to. I shouldn't have to. But it
Yeah.
was fun. The show was what WrestlePalooza should have been, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. WrestlePalooza was a clusterfuck of not so good proportions. But we had a lot of fun. The opener, I cannot wait to get into, of course. The women we'll get into, of course. Like I felt like the Crown Jewel Championship match, there's like a lot of thoughts in my mind about that.
Yeah.
And the main event, well, it definitely did not get to my predictions and what I thought was gonna happen, which I'm very happy about because
Yeah.
it saved me red, especially at like not at 8 in the morning, 8:56 in the morning, I believe it, 8:44 in the morning right now. Like, please God, don't do this to me. But yeah, what a show.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun show overall. I was not, to be honest, I was not very excited for the show going into it. There weren't a lot of outside of I think the women's tag and the main event. I wasn't like from a story perspective so invested in the first 3 matches going in. So I was honestly pleasantly surprised. I think it's one of the more solid WWE PLEs of the year. Um, it was weird for me even getting up. I got up an hour before the show started, which was like 7 a.m. my time. And I know I'm not trying to complain here while Rami is trying to get up at 5 a.m. to watch the show, but it was definitely a weird vibe for the beginning of the show. But as the show kept going, I was more awake and invested in the show. So I
That's how I
think,
felt too.
yeah, I think this is the final outside the U.S. show for them, PLE wise, this year. So we'll be going back to normal times, it looks like, for the rest of the year. But I think it's time to get into the actual show. Before we do, guys, if you're watching on YouTube right now, please hit that like button. Really helps support the channel. If you're watching on Twitch, Twitter, or even YouTube, also please comment away. We'll answer all of your comments about Crown Jewel as we go throughout the show. So don't worry, leave your comments. We'll pull it up and answer all your questions and comments throughout the show. But let's get into our 5-match card for Crown Jewel. As Rami brought up, it was rumored that the opening match for this show was supposed to be, at least at some point during the week, the main event, which a lot of people were nervous about. Brig Bronson Reed defeated Roman Reigns in an Australian street fight. This is after Roman beat Bronson Reed in Paris, and that's how Roman got taken out to film Street Fighter. Bronson Reed now gets the win here. A lot of shenanigans towards the end where Braun Breaker comes out. You had Roman Reigns hitting people with, I don't watch cricket, but whatever things they use on cricket, Roman Reigns was using that in this match. But Braun Breaker comes out, then the Usos come out, but this is all set up more bloodline dissension as Jey Uso accidentally spears Roman Reigns through the table, sets up the tsunami, and Bronson Reed gets a pin on Roman Reigns in the middle of the ring. And Roman Reigns was not happy with the Usos following this match. They've been teasing Roman trying to be more in Jey Uso's ear, and Jimmy has not been happy with that. But it looks like Roman's not happy with either member of the Usos. So, Rami, what were your thoughts on this opener here to start the show?
I like that they, of course, had to keep Roman built strong in the beginning of the match, going all toe-to-toe with Bronson Reed, throwing kendo sticks, throwing prime bottles. It felt like I was watching a stream of WWE 2K25 with my friends.
Yeah.
Because we always grab the prime bottles, we grab the big prime bottle, we just start chucking at each other. Like, it's the funniest thing in the world. But it was a good match. It was really fun. I wish I did those like reaction videos and whatnot, because I kept saying to myself, it was like 5 freaking straight up 5 in the morning, and I'm saying Braun Breaker's gonna jump over that barricade. Braun Breaker's gonna jump over that barricade. And as soon as he leaped it and got that spin, I was like, my God, let's go. The Usos getting involved, even though they were told on Monday not to, that was a lot of fun too, because it's like, don't get involved. And then Jey Uso thinks that he's like second in command again, like he's captain my captain and everything like that, brother.
Yeah.
No, like you went from being main event Jey to being a stooge again. Like you went from being main event Jey, the Royal Rumble winner this past January, to being a lackey. You went from being the guy who beat Gunther in the start of WrestleMania 41 to just being side by side with Roman Reigns again and being like, yeah, he's right. Yeah, I'm out too and everything, which I didn't understand by him. You speared Roman through the table, and then you're so mentally or manipulative abused by your family that you're like, hey man, hey, it's everyone else's fault, not mine. I'm gonna walk away. I first thought that he was getting tension, and I thought he was getting angry, like, oh, why did Roman do that to me? Why is he walking away? But that wasn't the case at all. It was more so him trying to show resentment towards Jimmy Uso and being like, oh, it's your fault. We could have won if people didn't get in my way. But I don't really get it. And I did like that Roman Reigns did say, of course, you're not invited to Christmas. I don't want to see you guys till Christmas. I don't want to see you guys till Christmas. And these people don't think I can win on my own, which is true. No one thinks, because when was the last time Roman Reigns won on his own?
Yeah.
He hasn't. All year round, he has not won on his own. At WrestleMania was the only time where it was just the 3 wrestlers in there and Paul Heyman's, low blows. That's it. But it was something else, certainly. I'm very happy for Bronson Reed. Losing in Paris, I understand, like, okay, but then you build up this Perth, Australia match, you build up this Australian street fight. That's the man's home. That's what he's gonna go in there and he's gonna destroy places. And I'm very, very glad that he defeated Roman Reigns. It gets a big boost. We saw that I believe like last week or earlier this week on the BodySlam Patreon, that Bronson Reed is in line for a very, very big push. So is Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are the vision. They're the future. They're the next big things for the WWE. And I'm very happy that we got a big win from Bronson Reed over Roman Reigns. So it definitely, builds up a big story. It gives up new faces, especially on Friday night after we saw Damian Priest lose to Aleister Black. They might be setting up an Aleister Black and Cody Rhodes storyline in the near future, get some things rolling. Hell, they might even make it like a slow Malash's fight and, just put Shinsuke Nakamura, all due respect, against Aleister Black, because really, those two mixed martial arts styles and everything just going against each other, it could be fun. But right now, Shinsuke is dealing with Tama Tonga, and Sami Zayn's dealing with MFT still. It's like, I really don't understand how SmackDown is getting booked the way that it is every single week, and people are like, man, I can't wait to tune in. And I say that as a person who watches every week, because it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing with myself? Thankfully, I didn't do that yesterday, because I instead enjoyed 15 innings of Mariners and Tigers baseball, which was phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal. But like, SmackDown really does need to get themselves like back above water, because it's drowning every single week for more that they don't know what to do with the women's division. They don't know what to do with the men's heavyweight division. They don't know what to do with the mid-card division. Like when the fact that Sami Zayn, we all love Sami Zayn. Everyone's always gonna praise Sami Zayn. The fact that Sami Zayn is putting out great open challenges every single week, and everybody else does not know what to do. They're beheaded chickens and whatnot. they really do got to get that stuff in check and fix things up because Sami Zayn's that MVP and they are not.
I will talk about the women's SmackDown side of it when we talk about the women's Crown Jewel title. But if you look at this card, you know, Bronson and Roman is a Raw feud. You have another Raw feud with the women's tag match later on the show. But other than that, there's really no pure SmackDown feuds on this show and just pure SmackDown. I think that is a great point by you pointing that out. I was really happy Bronson got this win. I think he really needed a big singles win. You would not know it was his hometown because he was getting booed in his home country of Australia in this match. Roman Reigns was heavily over in this match. At this point, I'm getting very tired of the bloodline stuff just continuing on. I think everyone else just needs to move on and do their own thing at this point. And I know they're probably going to set up Roman J or something like that. I just don't find that to be the most interesting thing to do for Roman while he's not in the world title picture. But the Vision need wins, especially when after this match on a backstage segment, Paul Heyman was celebrating with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And Paul Heyman said, before I leave, just if Seth asks at all for you guys to come out and help him win the match against Cody, you're not allowed to. You're not coming out to help Seth. So that obviously set the fact that there's going to be, for the most part, no shenanigans in the main event. Because, again, the whole storyline for the main event was, can Seth actually win the big one on his own? And would that lose faith in the Vision? We'll get back to Seth and the Vision towards the end of this review. Let's move on to the second match here, which was the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Liv Morgan won it last year. This year it was battled between Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton. And in a 10-minute match, Stephanie Vaquer got the win. Really like the finish of the match where Tiffany goes for the prettiest moonsault, misses, and Stephanie hits that really cool top rope maneuver to get the win on Tiffany. Weird that this match only went 10 minutes on this show. It was easily the shortest match by far on the show, and it barely got over 10 minutes. And to bring up your SmackDown point, the Tiffany's title reign has just been so underwhelming at this point, and they put so much effort onto the Seth and Cody feud, making that so interesting. And they just have not spent the time where you just didn't feel like there was any intensity in the feud with Stephanie and Tiffany. They were kind of just tag team partners last night on SmackDown. They had a contract signing, but other than that, there just hasn't been a lot of juice for the feud. I thought for the amount of time they got, the match was good, but I was shocked how little the time they got for this match. Rami, did you feel the same way about this?
Felt the same way, and not only did it feel the same way, I kept saying for weeks, this is going to be Tiffany's best match in such a long time, and it really wasn't. It was a 10-minute match where, like, you know, it set up Stephanie to win and then go forward with that. And both women, when they have good opponents, when they have, you know, spectacular opponents, they can put out a really good match. We've seen it from Tiffany during her days in NXT and, you know, somewhat in her early days in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
But now in this past year, it's just been the same repetitive feuds on SmackDown. And all respect to Tiffany Stratton because holding the championship, doing all this work, going through so many injuries, trials, tribulations, so many things for her this past year to be able to keep the gold. She said in an interview earlier this week or so that it will be iconic for her to face Nikki Bella at WrestleMania 42 for the Women's World Championship. I don't know how we can get that far when there's nothing going on SmackDown. As a matter of fact, I feel like the big push should be Julia winning the SmackDown Women's World Championship by Royal Rumble so you can set up the Women's Royal Rumble winner to face off either against Stephanie or Julia, because either matchup for that winner would be very, very big, whether it's Liv. And people could say, oh, it could be Liv Morgan, but I feel like Liv Morgan sets up that big picture between her and Roxanne Perez for WrestleMania. I feel like the whole story is Liv comes back, she eliminates Roxanne, gets that big moment right there, and then you just set up the future going forward. But with Tiffany Stratton, I don't understand what goes on for her next, because Nia Jax and Jade Cargill are going to be knocking on the door on Friday being like, hey, where's our title match? You guys have lost a combined total of 0-10, an 0-10 record of World Championship matches since January. And we've seen nothing anything like fruitful from it. The triple threat, we thought, oh, it's gonna be a barn burner. It was more so just a botch fest, and I say that to all respect to the women because, of
Yep.
course, you're all trying to get your chemistry and you're trying to get your moves, everything flowing, and it's just non-stop clusterfucks. And
Hmm.
Stephanie's great. Stephanie's great. She was already bound to win a women's world championship on the Raw side, or as soon as she won the Battle Royal at Evolution. And once Naomi defeated the championship, we knew, okay, so it's gonna be Stephanie win the championship off of whoever's next. And we all knew Io was not gonna win the championship back. It would be just too soon. You can't ruin the opportunity for Stephanie back here. Stephanie wins the gold back, and now Stephanie has so many opponents in front of her that are all great on the Raw side.
Yeah.
Asuka, Kyrie, a rematch with Io, Roxanne, Rhea. There's so many great women. Even Ivy Nile, whenever that comes back around and whatnot. There's so much greatness for the women's division if you put things together. Because you can have I remember saying this before. You can have a great women's division, but it won't be great if you don't book it right. And SmackDown's women's division is just it's just I don't get it. At SummerSlam, we saw Candice Story have this amazing monumental moment which she got thrown off the damn ladder through another ladder, and we were like, holy moly. Like, oh, they could actually be able to show off the extreme side of Candice LeRae, and then about 2 weeks later, she was already on NXT WWE speed matches. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't,
It's rough.
you know,
Yeah, her whole Tiffany's feuds have just been basically Jade Cargill and Nia Jax for about 5 to 6 months at this point. They don't really
give Mia
build.
Yim a shot at least. You know what I mean? At least Mia Yim can get a shot. She's been
Yeah,
fighting Julia and all the women's United States champions for the past year. Might as well just say, hey, you want a world title match? You basically earned it from losing
yeah.
so much. Like, it's just crazy.
It's rough. I think Raw, yes, I think Stephanie's in a better position feud-wise moving forward on Raw. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen on SmackDown? Like, do we really, like, the Women's United States Championship isn't being built up at all. Now we need that. Now we don't need a mid-card division because Julia wants to fight for the world title right now while she's a mid-card champion. That's where the state of SmackDown's women's division is. But I thought this match was good. It was fast-paced. Stephanie hit the Devil's Kiss, got a huge pop in the match. The entrances were big. They both seemed like very big stars. I just thought they could have gone a lot longer. The other shortest match on the show was they were all 20-minute matches except for this match. So very weird. Don't know if they didn't have time to prepare or anything like that, but Stephanie retains. She won the Crown Jewel Championship. She looked very emotional as well. As I'm going to stop my alarm for some reason for going off. I don't know why it's on. We're going to talk about John Cena and AJ Styles. Rami, what were your thoughts on John Cena and AJ Styles?
I was very, very happy to see AJ Styles bring out those old trunks from the TNA days, because it was so great. Last night I watched the turning point, I believe it was Kurt Angle versus Abyss. The match where Kurt Angle does like the somersault right off of the freaking stage. I thought it was awesome, and I've been watching a bunch of old AJ Styles matches throughout the week because I know that this next year is going to be very emotional. It's already been emotional for me watching John Cena because 7-year-old me had a John Cena chain gang hoodie every day at school, and I was like the biggest John Cena. My first ever email, I'm gonna expose myself here, was teamcnation@gmail.com.
My God.
Team Cena. I was 12 years old, and I was like, I love this guy. Like John Cena, Undertaker were always my guys. I was emotional man when Undertaker retired at the time because the Dead Man gimmick was that's a cool thing for me. And then John Cena retiring, I feel like that piece of my childhood is like crushed. Like it's like damn that it's such an emotional thing. And we've seen AJ Styles and John Cena fight before, but I feel like this match, it was just like the SummerSlam matchup. You know what I mean? Like it was as meaningful and as special as the first time they ever locked horns with each other because this is the last time. This is the last time that we're ever gonna see these guys wrestle, unless you put on the E2K25 and you put it on a Universe Mode match and you put those two against each other. But John Cena is never doing this again. John Cena just ended Peacemaker. John Cena is ending his WWE career. It's like it's such an emotional time. But AJ Styles and John Cena did such great, great, great moves to each other. So many callbacks, so much homage was being paid to. I have the tweet saved here
Yep.
of all the things that they did here. So they paid, of course, good respect and homage to the likes of. Sorry, skip. All right, Samoa Joe, Chris Jericho, Rusev, Christopher Daniels, The Miz, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Frankie Kazarian, Shawn Michaels, Sting, The Undertaker, and even almost John Cena pulled out a 619. I was like, whoa, whoa, buddy, don't be doing this. But it was amazing. The Skull Crusher
Yeah.
finale, I was like, oh my God, that took me out. The Sister Abigail, the Fallen Angel, all the moves that they were doing was just great. And if anyone told me, yeah, John Cena is going to end a match doing a tombstone into an attitude adjustment, I would have told you, what is this, creative finisher? Like, it's like SBR 09, 2010 again? Like,
Yeah.
what is this? What's going on here? And when I saw that happen, I was like, oh my God. Like, it sent chills down my spine because I was like, there's no fucking way. And then even Undertaker tweeted it out, hey, like, all respect to Taker and Styles and Cena, because some of Taker's last WrestleMania matches were against Cena and Styles, which was like those two wild matchups. Like you get a 3-minute matchup against John Cena at WrestleMania, and the other one's a boneyard match with Gallows and Anderson. But
Yeah.
I'm very happy that we got to have this match. It bums me the fuck out that last month we had to deal with John Cena getting completely bitched out and looking like a pussy to that piece of shit. And then now this month he has a great matchup where he's doing all sorts of callbacks and all sorts of different moves. And people tell me, oh, but it's it's that opponent that he's going against. It's called lazy and repetitive booking, and it's called not caring about the business and only caring about a paycheck. Yes, you get paid at the end of the day, but your professional wrestling skills are supposed to show inside and out every single day when you're inside of that damn ring. And that's not what Brock Lesnar did. That John Cena had to go through a shit show with that one, and then get to AJ Styles where he had a great match. And now they're saying with John Cena, his next match at Survivor Series, which I thought he'd be part of the War Games match, to be honest with you. I thought he'd be part of that. No, they're saying that he will most likely be facing Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. I'm speaking like I'm, Randy Savage over here. The Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. But like, if we do get that match, hell yeah. If we don't get that match, I don't mind either way. I feel like John Cena needs to be in War Games. I feel like him getting revenge on Brock Lesnar in War Games, I feel like would be the best, feeling in anyone's, face. And we can, move on from that shitty ass match that they had at WrestlePalooza with some revenge for John Cena. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
So this is a weird match. I'm not a John Cena guy, so I'm not someone who feels the nostalgia when he does stuff. I am an AJ Styles OG AJ Styles guy. He's one of the first wrestlers that I watched on TV when I was 6 or 7 years old. So seeing him and his introduction also, because John Cena did his usual you never seen 17, that whole introduction. AJ Styles had his own introduction, how he was a total nonstop action. He's the undisputed boss of the Bullet Club. And AJ, you can tell, was shocked they even said the words Bullet Club in the announcement, which was very cool. Him wearing the TNA gear, that was very nostalgic for me. This definitely felt like a WWE 2K match where it was just spamming finisher after finisher after finisher, but not their own, everyone else's finisher. Interesting, Walls of Jericho, not just mentioned on commentary, but if you go to their socials, they have written on the videos, Walls of Jericho. So I don't know if that's hinting at anything, but very interesting. They're very comfortable mentioning it. AJ hitting the coquina clutch and the whole crowd chanting for Samoa Joe. Very cool moment as well. Cena hitting all of those moves. I do love that after we hit Sister Abigail, everyone does the lights in the arena. Very cool. I had chills, honestly, when that happened. But this was, I'm going to get emotional next year when AJ Styles is on his quote-unquote retirement year. But I think Cena has been on a better run post-heel turn. But still, Cena this was his first time appearing on television since WrestlePalooza. This was just a match to be a match, and he only has 4 dates left. So it's going to be interesting how they book him. Are there going to be any juicy storylines for him with only 4 dates left? Or are they just going to be like, here's a date, here's an opponent, let's just do this match type situation? But I was a bit disappointed how much you can definitely tell they just didn't have this full-fledged plan for Cena's retirement year. No matter what you think about if it was good or not, heel-wise, it feels like there's been no plan move for the last 6 months or so for this retirement tour. So it's kind of unfortunate, even if you're a Cena fan or not, seeing the unplannedness of this retirement tour. But again, AJ brought out, I thought, the best John Cena matches in the mid 2000s or 2010s, excuse me. The Royal Rumble match in 2017 is easily, for me, Cena's best match in WWE. So I am happy about everything. And I also really love the finish. You brought up the tombstone into the AA. I thought it was really well done. Even Cena faking the punt was a really funny moment. It was a really funny moment. So I enjoy this match. I don't think it was like the best match of the year or anything like that, but I found myself very much like, this is a good turn off your brain, have a good time watching a wrestling match. You know what I mean? Like, it's not supposed, it's supposed to be having fun. Like you're playing a video game, this type of match. So I enjoyed it. It was not my favorite on the show. We'll get to my favorite on the show in a little bit, but I enjoyed this match as well. What are your thoughts, Rami, I guess, before we move on to the women's tag match? I guess Cena's retirement year, this being very out of the blue, this match where Cena's not building this match at all, just showing up, doing the match, moving on. What are your thoughts on just do you feel the same way how unplanned, I guess, this whole year has been for him?
Each date of John Cena's retirement tour should have been filled with a match. Each date should have been against somebody that we didn't know he was going to go against, that we didn't know what was going to happen. It's funny that he did the choke slam, and people were like, "Oh, that was like paying to Undertaker or whatever." He landed on his knees like Joe Hendry. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm like, brother, that was a Joe Hendry spot right there. So it was.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like Joe Hendry against John Cena, I was expecting that to happen earlier in the year. You know what I mean? Like all the respect and everything.
Look at that man go.
Look at me go. Thank you so much, Florida. Great person. I've known it since I was 14. But of course, John Cena has had this whole year. They built this whole year around a heel run that was supposed to be a very triumphant thing that we never saw it before, like Hulk Hogan style in a way of heel runs. And the following Monday, nothing. The following Monday, nothing. The build to WrestleMania, absolute garbage. WrestleMania, garbage. Going forward, every match was just like, really? We finally got John Cena and CM Punk, and then it happened at like Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Like, especially for a guy who says, "Oh, go suck a blood money covered dick" and whatnot, and then we get the match there. We're like, okay, whatever. And just throughout the whole year, it should have been a lot of dates where John Cena had just different opponents, different styles of matchups. Didn't matter, even if you got to bring in people. Like I know people are gonna be like, "Wow, you really thought this match would happen? Why not Matt Cardona and John Cena happen earlier this year?" You know what I mean? There was so many storylines of John Cena's past 20 years that people were like, "Hey, I'm ready to show up. I'm ready to come out there," and I would have gotten big hype, big hype, big hype. But instead, booking was like, "Hey, man, Rock's not going to show up. Travis Scott's not going to show up. You're basically going to have to turn face already." He turns face. He has this great match with Cody at SummerSlam. And, after the shit show that was WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar comes back. "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so scared of Brock Lesnar. He is such a beast. Oh my goodness. 46 times named in the lawsuit for sexual assault on Janelle Grant." Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was so many things that were just a clusterfuck of this match. And then we get the match. Paul Heyman goes back in Brock's corner, and Brock's nowhere to be seen for now since WrestlePalooza.
Yeah.
So you guys built up this whole ESPN Unlimited pay-per-view of, oh, WrestlePalooza, Brock versus Cena, never seen before again. And you gave us the same match you gave us at SummerSlam 10 fucking years ago or so. And for what? Nothing. And it's just, it's a waste. People always trying to talk about, oh, you got to put over the guy when you're going out of the business. Put over the guy. Carmelo Hayes, Dominic Mysterio. Those are guys you
Braun
put
Breaker.
over. Not Braun Breaker. Even Bronson Reed. You put over that guy. Hell, I would rather have R-Truth go over. If we're putting over older people, we're putting over guys like R-Truth who actually get the fans, who actually love the fans. Not shows up to work, doesn't do a single promo, acts like he's the hottest shit in the world when he's just pissed, and then afterwards just nothing whatsoever. So, yeah, John Cena's retirement run has been shit, but I'm glad that he's able to have select matches to be able to make it go, his way. But even though we all know Washington D.C. doesn't have Donald Trump waving at the crowd and John Cena saluting everybody off, like
Yeah.
that's wrestling for you. That's wrestling for you. I thought we were supposed to get away from politics. I thought we were supposed to get away from this stuff.
Away. Yeah, away. Well, look at today, the national anthem. They heavily booed. The Australian crowd heavily booing the United States national anthem today. So, yeah, all these interesting things. I do think Cena, as not a Cena fan, I think this and the Cody match at SummerSlam have been the standouts on his 2025. Let's move into the women's tag match. Even before we do, I just want to say thanks. We have a notification. Danielle with a like on Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, hit that like button. Really helps support everyone here at BodySlam.
Big shout out to Danielle. She does great photography in Philadelphia. She's an amazing person. She does great work. I know her from a good friend of mine, Brian. And of course she does great work not only with cooking, photography, everything she does. She's great. So big shout out to her.
Yeah, I just want to thank also everyone so far who has joined us and is commenting as well. Let's move into Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. They defeated the Kabuki Warriors. This, to me, has been the most interesting storyline in the company post WrestlePalooza. The Asuka, Io Sky feels like that's going to be a big feud, one-on-one singles match. But this is a good way to get Rhea on the card, on the pay-per-view, in her home country. Kairi did take a couple bullets for Asuka during this match. She ended up getting pinned after the Riptide and the Moonsault. Again, makes sense. Keep Asuka away from being pinned. Her and Io is the big blood feud here. I thought the match was very good. It went a lot longer than I was expecting the match to go. It went nearly 20 minutes. But I think the actual storytelling was very good. The match I thought was good. It didn't it wasn't like a fantastic match, but I thought they did a really good job with what they had. So what were your thoughts, Rami, on both the feud and this women's tag match?
The feud has been great between them. It just feels like such a wild twist and turn of like Rhea trying to get through the EO and telling her like, hey, they're manipulating you, they're gaslighting you, they're trying to pull you into a way that you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be a bad person. Asuka's trying to turn you evil, and Kyrie, of course, has already been sucked into the manipulation and the gaslighting and whatnot. So I love the match. I love that EO, of course, took a big brunt of the damage, whatnot, throughout the whole halfway through because she started going, everything was going good for her in the beginning, but then Asuka and Kyrie, that heel work, and plus it shows. I like the differences that they always show whenever it does come to tag team matches. If you put, example, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso together against, for example, Motor City Machine Guns. Motor City Machine Guns are going to walk out the winners. You know what I mean? It's the chemistry of 20 plus years. It's the chemistry of always knowing each other, always being around each other. Asuka and Kyrie are such a great tag team. The Kabuki Warriors have been a team for many, many years. Io was never part of the tag team scene. She was always trying to get the world championship, always trying to get the big one and whatnot, trying to win the Royal Rumble, trying to headline WrestleMania. So for her to be in this match and, of course, being one-sided and whatnot with taking a beating by Asuka and Kyrie, it was very enjoyable to see all that happen, plus also get Rhea in there. The huge pop, of course, the Aussie girl, hometown girl gets that big pop, and she just started whooping ass all over the place. And I'm very glad that they, in a way, protected Kyrie as well when she took the moonsault, almost got the 3 count. Then they got broken up. Asuka gets thrown out the ring. They finally get the riptide on her. Then the moonsault, 1, 2, 3, and in the end right there, Rhea and Io big time winning. Asuka stays protected. Kyrie takes the pin, which was always, I feel like, the case. If it wasn't Kyrie getting pinned, it had to be Io getting pinned. One of the two, because Io can take the pin and still go on Monday and have a great match to be able to get herself back in momentum action.
Yeah.
Asuka, the only time she's been pinned so far was against Jade Cargill at Night of Champions, I believe it was, or so. It was Queen of King of the Ring, one of the goddamn pay-per-views that they hold in this damn place. But yeah, that was the only time she had gotten pinned, which was a shocker because if Naomi never cashed in, we would have gotten that blood feud early between Asuka and Io Sky because
Yeah.
she told her weeks before, I'm not your friend, I'm coming for your championship. Then Io loses the gold, Asuka loses the match, and then all of a sudden she's like, man, I'm always gonna be by your side. You're gonna win the world championship back. You just told her like 2 weeks ago, you're dead to me. I'm gonna snap you in half. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's like Scary Movie 1. Like you don't know who's gonna do a plot twist. Really, like, oh, me and him, and we're a team. No, we're
Yeah.
not. Like, oh, I thought we were a team, but no. Um, very happy to see what happens going forward. Kyrie, of course, taking the loss. Rhea, what happens with her next? Because she's still gonna be by Io's side, but Stephanie needs a new challenger.
She does.
Roxanne Perez is going to want to be a challenger. Raquel Rodriguez is going to want to be a challenger, even if it's in the corner of each other. Rhea can have a shot there. Io can have a shot there. Even Asuka can even try to find a way to make it in there. But Survivor Series is coming up. War Games is coming up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going into this match because they have so many options, as Dave Meltzer said yesterday. Even Austin Theories on the men's side could be a possibility, which is crazy. He's popping bottles of sparkles in Japan. Like, come on now. But yeah, can't wait to see what happens going forward on Monday because the women's division is great on Raw, but it's all about how can you keep it going forward. SmackDown, you need all the help you can get.
Yeah, I think Rhea does not need to be in this feud much longer. I think she was kind of put into this feud to be in this situation where she is wrestling on the show in Australia. I think Asuka and Io can be their own thing with Kyrie. I don't think Io needs like all of this help in this feud. So I think Rhea moving up to either the main title with Stephanie or even maybe a challenger for Becky Lynch after Becky beats Maxine Dupree whenever they do run that IC title match back. So I enjoyed the match. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was very solid. But I think everyone knows Io and Asuka feels like a big Mania level match. So I'm very excited to when we get that. I think it's time. We're going to head down the home stretch. Main event time for Crown Jewel. Yeah, we only have 5 matches to talk about. It's weird. After, it has been a long time since we've just covered a straight up WWE PLE because of the AEW show at the same time. It feels like we've been on the air forever talking about wrestling, but it's nice. 5-match show. Seth Rollins finally beats Cody Rhodes. He wins the Crown Jewel Championship. The story here, Cody was 3-0 against Seth after coming back to WWE. And Seth has been very much in his head for the last month about this match, not really believing he could beat Cody Rhodes to a point where Paul Heyman says, if you don't beat him, maybe I made the wrong decision at WrestleMania. And maybe Braun Breaker and Bronson are going to lose faith in you as the true leader of the vision and the future of the company. I already talked about earlier, Heyman already warned everyone not to come out. So we knew at least the vision were not going to interrupt this match. There are obviously a lot of theories, including Rami's, that maybe Brock Lesnar was going to pay a favor for Paul Heyman in this match, but ended up there were still shenanigans, but not from outside interference. I do want to say the Cody top rope crossroads on Seth was unbelievable. And while it was my favorite part of the show, I still can't believe that someone would kick out of a move like that. Like for me, that has to be the finish of a match. Like if Cody hits a top rope crossroads, which he never does, that has to be the finish. Like if I was Cody and you're not winning this match, I just would have not pulled it out for this match. It was such a great move. And going in, I was like 100% sure Seth was winning. But I'll tell you what, when Cody hit that, I was like, wow, how the hell are you going to kick out of that? And Seth kicks out of it. I was like, I don't think that was like the greatest decision to pull that move out in that situation. But Seth gets the win because he uses the watch that Cody gave him after WrestleMania 40. Seth said he hadn't worn it since WrestleMania 40, and there's a ref bump. Seth hits him with the watch, curb stomp, and then a top rope curb stomp. And Seth is the Crown Jewel champion. Seth really needed to win this match after not beating Cody the last 4 years. Rami, what were your thoughts on this Crown Jewel Championship main event?
I liked it. I agree with you when you said about the whole top rope crossroads because I'm like, we've never seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Why would anybody kick out? Why would anybody kick out? Like that's the strongest move that you could ever like. We already know how dangerous a Crossroads is. We already know how dangerous like the trilogy of Crossroads is. Now to do it off a top rope, and Seth kicks out, but all it takes is a the bracelet to a watch and two curb stomps, one off the top rope, and then that was it. That was over with. It was a great match, great chemistry. It definitely was a way of getting redemption for the Hell in a Cell match, because the Hell in a Cell match was good, but you want to be fully healthy and you want to be
Yeah.
able to show the crowd that you can just kick ass. And Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, they've been through a lot. And even if they want to use the excuse of, oh, but this past year, everything Seth Rollins has been through, this is the reason why he's able to kick out of all these things. That Netflix super match between CM Punk series, come on, we can't always pull that up on everything, because
Yeah.
that steel cage match, yeah, Seth Rollins hit the curb stomp off the top rope, but how did that match end? Roman Reigns pulled him out of the cage, beat both their asses, and set up the WrestleMania match. So Seth Rollins had never won with that, second rope, curb stomp, which they put in the E2K25, and they're like, oh, he's never done it before, and I was like, okay, when's he gonna fucking do it?
Yeah.
But then now he does it like twice now, and one he wins the steel cage match by being dragged out, and then the other one he wins because of his gifted watch that he got from WrestleMania 40, which
Yeah.
I like the callback to that. I thought that was a much more like reasonable option, because it's like you're not gonna have somebody interfere, and the whole time I was like, you're not gonna ruin the show like this. Like, this is a Crown Jewel event. You can't have
Yeah.
some freaking piss. You can't have piss pants come out here and try to ruin everything as per usual. But very happy for Seth. He needed this win. They basically told him, if you don't win, this shit's done for. We're gone. Everyone's gone, and they're gonna basically turn their back on you. Because the second that they say the vision is over, Braun Breaker's gonna snap and kill Seth Rollins. We all know
Yeah.
that. Same with Bronson Reed. They're happy to be by his side and learn, but they're also gonna use this advice and everything that they've learned from him to use against him. There's no way around it. And Braun Breaker is a massive beast. Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns, but that's the thing too. Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
yes, with some help, but he beat him way better than Seth Rollins could have. Because Seth
Yeah.
Rollins couldn't even beat him with CM Punk right there. CM Punk was there the whole fight, and it took a low blow from Paul Heyman on both guys to give Seth Rollins a little bit of an advantage. But that was not the case here. The watch came in handy, the curb stomp, which good, you know what I mean? Good, you got to do it. But
Yep.
now I wonder what goes forward, because yes, that happened. Yes, you got revenge, but Survivor Series is not about World Championship matches. The last time that we got a pretty sick World Championship match at Survivor Series, I think was when the Elimination Chamber was around, like '02, and then we had Shawn Michaels win that big match at Survivor Series in MSG, which was great. But as the years have progressed, there's not been great World Championship matches. Someone's gonna bring up Randy Orton versus Big Show at Survivor Series, and I'm gonna look at them like they just shot a cat. Like, what are you doing with yourself, buddy? But like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. I think that in the last couple of years we've done war games, we've done the Survivor Series matchups and whatnot, like the survival stuff and whatever, which is cool by me. I'm very happy by that. Which they should incorporate into war games this year. I think the best thing that they should do for war games is make it elimination. And then for the men's side, you have all the faces survive basically. Basically all the faces survive. The heels get their asses whooped. That basically this is it for them. They are gonna get screwed over. This is done for the Vision and for Brock Lesnar. Whether you leave Brock Lesnar for last or you leave Seth Rollins for last, you hit all your finishers on everybody hit their finishers. RKO, attitude adjustment, spear. Everybody destroy this man. 1, 2, 3. Let Cena get the pin, and then end off Survivor Series like that in San Diego, especially because you have John Cena fight Dominic Mysterio. Let's say he wins the Intercontinental Championship. He
Yeah.
finally won a championship he's never won before. What happens next? You're gonna have to vacate the title. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're gonna have to vacate the title and then hold this whole tournament of, oh, is Dominic gonna get it back? And then Dominic gets betrayed by Finn Balor of some sort or whatever the fuck. Like, it's always leading back to that for Dominic Mysterio. Oh, you're the champion, but you can lose all if Finn Balor decides, I'm gonna screw you over. I don't think Dominic loses it on Monday against Penta. I think
No.
Rusev is gonna definitely get involved because Rusev got super kick. He's gonna be like, hey man, I still remember that bruise on my cheek. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
out there and kick your ass. So it's like I understand that, but it's all about what happens like with John Cena. The next 4 appearances are his last of the year. It's like don't do a James Gunn here and say, hey man, we have a massive finale planned for us, and then we all watch the finale and it's a goddamn clusterfuck. Screw you, James Gunn. You're a bastard for that. But anyways, that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But
I just want to add, there's some really funny stuff on this post show that's going on right now. I said there's no presser, but
yeah, of course.
Stephanie Vaquer was talking about what was next. The whole crowd behind them for chanting AJ Lee. So maybe that's what they could do. AJ Lee hasn't been on TV either since WrestlePalooza. But I think
Question.
Yeah.
Is Maxine Dupree supposed to get a title shot against Becky Lynch on Monday?
Well, that was weird. I thought they were going to announce that match for Monday for Raw, but they did not. They only mentioned Bayley and Lyra versus Judgment Day, as well as Penta versus Dom. They have not announced anything else for Raw. But I think
because if they did Becky versus Maxine, I would like, hear me out here. I would like for Maxine to win a championship with AJ Lee interference.
Boy.
AJ Lee interferes and it screws it over because you've seen all year Maxine has never won a strong match. She's never won a match. You give her the championship, immediately we're all gonna think, oh, when's she gonna lose the championship? Next week? And then she starts having this weird type of run where she starts beating everybody. Everybody that has beaten her, has doubted her, she starts beating them all. Because if you have AJ defeat Becky for the championship, what goes forward? What happens next? Because AJ, let's say, wins a championship at Survivor Series if she's not involved in a War Games match, or wins in December. Royal Rumble happens. Who does AJ defend against? You know what I mean? Like Roxanne Perez. I feel like a Roxanne Perez AJ Lee match is something you need to save for either WrestleMania or SummerSlam. That's the mother-daughter match that everybody's been waiting for, and you gotta have it at a massive stage. AJ Lee winning the Intercontinental Championship right now in this stage does nobody justice. And you need to keep the women's division moving forward. She wants to go home. She has so much things to do. She has books, she has shows, she has movies, she has all these charities that she organizes and does things for AJ Lee. You don't need her to win the women's Intercontinental Championship. Maxine winning it, pulling off that massive 1-2-3 kid upset over Razor Ramon, and then what's going to happen next? And Maxine has this great run. I think it helps the division move forward so you can still keep everybody wrestling every week, because AJ is not going to win the championship and then the following Monday, all right, open challenge time next week, open challenge time next week, open challenge time. They're not going to do every single week an AJ Lee match. She's saved for these very special moments and for these very special put together events, whether it's Royal Rumble, a Saudi event, Survivor Series, whatever the fuck. It's just, I think that they need to protect it going forward. And Becky versus AJ in a no holds barred match, just a grudge match, just a full on grudge match between the two. No championship on the line. It's just, I want to beat your ass and you want to beat mine. Then let's go for it. Let's do it. So I think that should be the plan.
Yeah. So I think Becky's going to beat Maxine, and I think they're going to do Becky and AJ for the Intercontinental title is what I think, because I think they had the whole thing of AJ wearing the title for a week straight. I think they want to do that match. Who knows who'll win? But, yeah. And then Triple H got a lot of chants at him, very weird chants. There are "We Want Edge" chants at Triple H on the post show. Again, people work themselves into thinking Cope was writing himself all out of AEW after All Out, but he's just filming Percy Jackson not leaving AEW anytime soon, which is very funny that people thought that. There were also MJF chants at Triple H, like loud MJF chants, which I found hilarious. And then there were F Saudi chants, "We want WrestleMania here in Australia" type chants. So Triple H got all of those chants thrown at him at Crown Jewel. Next up is Survivor Series at Petco Park, where the Padres play in San Diego, which is I've been to a lot of ballparks, my favorite ballpark I've been to as a baseball guy. I'm not a Padres fan, but it's a beautiful ballpark.
It's a very beautiful ballpark. When I heard that Survivor Series was going to be there, I was very happy for it because, of course, I think that ballpark is very, very beautiful. And, of course, like having Survivor Series there with the War Games and that feeling of, San Diego, I hope it doesn't rain. I hope it does, because definitely this time of year around November time, it's going to definitely be a rainy season.
Yes. And it also makes sense because we're in November, December. If you want to do an outdoor event, you kind of have to do that on the West Coast in November, December range. So makes sense to go to San Diego. Crown Jewel, I thought overall was a very solid show. I thought it was one of the more consistently good shows of the year. I don't think there was anything like this is going to be one of the best matches of the year on the show, but I don't think there was anything abysmal or even bad on this card. So overall, I think Crown Jewel was a positive show. Raw is in Perth still on Monday, which is at 8 a.m. Eastern again for Monday Night Raw that we'll be waking up for to cover on Monday. But that's it for WWE on the Europe side and out of the States, I think, for TV purposes for the rest of 2025. So I think we're back to a normal schedule for the remaining 3 months. Before we go, let's recap everything. Rami, where can everyone find you on social media? Talk about your big announcement that you made yesterday. Go into all of it, Rami.
Of course, of course, of course. You can find me on my socials at Who Else But Rami on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, all those good places. Um, I'm also streaming this on Facebook, Rami J. I'm not gonna say my last name, but if you know how to say it like a true Arab, then you're a good person. But no, you can. Yesterday I made a big announcement that I have officially joined the team over at Fansided Daily DDT. Fansided, I've worked there for the past 3-4 years. I've written mixed martial arts there when they had a Fansided MMA page there. I've written about Los Angeles sports from the Dodgers, Lakers, Rams, the Bruins, the Trojans. I've written all about them on the LA Sports Hub side, and now I will be able to contribute my personal opinion and my thoughts for a daily DDT. I'm very excited about it. This will not be like any of my other stuff. This will not be news writing. This will not be stuff that I'm just, getting off the bat. I want to truly put together the best editorials. I want to put out the best lists. And by lists, I mean like stuff that nobody would ever think of, and I feel like it should definitely be a good contribution. I was personally reached out to by Rafael Garcia, who is the site expert for Daily DDT. So shout out to him for giving me the opportunity. We've worked before together. He's seen how hard I work and how passionate I am about sports. So I'm very happy to be given this opportunity. I'm very grateful for it. The team there at Daily DDT is all amazing. There's even people from Bodyslam that have worked there currently, like DC. Great people. I'm hoping to get things done very soon. Of course, this does not mean I'm dipping from BodySlam whatsoever. I love BodySlam. I love Daily DDT. I love professional wrestling. If I could talk about it anywhere, whether it's on camera, whether it's through my keyboard, or whether it's through a live video, I think that it'll make me happy. I just saw that Corey put in the BodySlam chat, Oba Femi vs. Omos is tonight apparently at a live event.
Hey.
Why couldn't they give that to us as a main event of WrestleMania? But that's besides the point. But thank you so much to everybody, of course, who continues to support me every single day. It really does not go unnoticed. I have a lot of imposter syndrome, and every single time I complete an interview or I complete anything big work wise or I get a job, I think to myself, I don't deserve this. But I've been passionate about professional wrestling since I was 4 years old when I first watched The Undertaker and Booker T on an episode of SmackDown that my father put on. If it wasn't for my mom and dad, I wouldn't be into professional wrestling. And if it wasn't for the work ethic that's pushed into my family, I wouldn't be where I am right now. From going through college, from saying I don't want to be a wrestler, I want to just talk about this stuff. I'm very, very grateful for every opportunity I've ever had since I was 15 years old of writing and being on camera and being on the scene to be able to interview people. Shout out to all the people who've allowed me to interview them. There's more coming. And of course, I'm just very happy about this. I cannot wait to contribute more for Daily DDT, and I cannot wait to see what goes forward because this is just amazing. And to anyone who enjoyed my post yesterday, the Photoshop, I always do these Photoshop photos of my head on some random thing. I put it on the NBA player Grady Dick for his NBA draft. I put it on Pau Gasol when he won the NBA championship when I signed up for LA Sports Hub. And now I put my head on Bryan Danielson when he had his big matchup with Kenny Omega on that episode of Dynamite. So my friend, she called me corny for it, but of course, I think that that's what makes me much, much different than others. Everybody else has a very ego-driven like personality of, I should be at the top. Why isn't it me? Why isn't it me? I don't say why isn't it me. I work my ass off, and if you fight for your dreams will fight for you. And that's what you can always remember from Bryan Danielson, which is very important. And also on top of that, hard work does not go unnoticed. If somebody tells you, I've worked my whole life for this, apparently you didn't work hard enough. Because if you work hard enough, you can get to the opportunities you want to, and your dreams will fight for you no matter what people say. So of course, thank you everybody for always tuning in, for always making me feel like I'm not invisible. It really does help a lot with the whole imposter syndrome. And of course, follow me on my socials, who else for Rami and a lot of my things. It's all right there. And I cannot wait for everybody to see the work I put out in the rest of October. Plus, it's spooky season. Everybody better be watching a horror movie every single goddamn day, and if you're not, then you're just a little bitch. But that's besides the point.
Whoa, hey, Rami attacking the fans on
Max,
the way out. I see you, Rami. I see you there.
Max, where can they find you, my man?
You can find me on Twitter at DinnenbergMax, Instagram at MaxDinnenberg. For BodySlam.net, you can find me basically every single day on socials, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. I post the highs and lows for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Collision and Dynamite, as well as I do every single WWE and AEW post-show for pay-per-views. Rami and I do the WWE post-shows. Blackhawk and I do the AEW post-shows. And I believe I'm confirmed with Blackhawk, we are doing the Wrestle Dream post-show next Saturday night. So we're very excited for that. So tons of videos and content coming to you guys from BodySlam.net. Go to BodySlam.net. We have articles from Rami basically every single day. Subscribe to our Patreon, where Corey Hayes and others are breaking news. Corey broke a lot of news yesterday on, sadly, a lot of WWE NXT releases. So if you want to be the first people to know about all this information before any other news outlet gets it, subscribe to Patreon. It really supports everyone here at BodySlam.net. Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. We post videos. Blackhawk clips together all of the podcasts and puts it on Instagram and TikTok. So it really means a lot for you guys to support us on socials. And Rami and I will be back in a month or so, where we'll be bringing you guys the post show to WWE's Survivor Series in San Diego. Can't wait to break down that show. Not at 5 a.m. LA time, Rami. We're going to be on a good time.
I'm praying to God that if the Dodgers win this World Series, if they do, oh man, I'm gonna run laps around the camera like, "What's up, San Diego? What happened, Manny Machado? What happened, Fernando Tatis Jr.? What happened, Yu Darvish? What happened, guys?" Because really, all year long, I had to hear from San Diego fans, from San Francisco fans, from all due respect, Philly fans. Man, the Dodgers ain't shit.
I didn't say that, but yes.
You didn't say nothing, but at least we shared some good stories of our childhood of seeing like championship parades and seeing stuff that we wanted to see. I hope that this leads to another championship for my team. I love baseball. I think, and I'm loving that we're gonna be able to talk about Survivor Series. When they're hailing from a ballpark, San Diego, Petco Park. I cannot wait for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's gonna be emotional too, because that's gonna be John Cena's last pay-per-view. That right there is the last pay-per-view that we're gonna see him on. Saturday Main Event is not counting on as a PLA for me, but no. Survivor Series definitely is, and I'm gonna be just like a bawling mess the whole freaking way. So I cannot wait to get into that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously, there's Saturday night's main event that's coming up on November 1st in Salt Lake City. But the next PLE is correctly Survivor Series. It's November 29th. And a lot of people are saying it's supposed to start around 7 o'clock as of now, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Pacific. November 29th. Feels like it's a long ways away, but it'll be here sooner than you know it, because we all love pro wrestling.
Yeah, and thank goodness it's after Turkey Day, so I'm gonna have like 20 pounds on me coming in here and everything, like this Walton.
Especially if the Dodgers win, you're gonna be in a big celebratory mood.
My God. And
guess what? I don't know if I'm gonna be happy with this, because obviously your team eliminated my team, so I'm just gonna be here observing Rami's. Oh no! Don't do it! Don't! Oh my God!
I'll be bringing this bitch out all the fucking time if my team wins. If my team wins, this is coming up. And what else? Hold on. Where
oh my God! Oh,
a preview. Coming out,
dude. Yeah.
A preview of what's to come if the Dodgers do win the World Series, and if it's against Toronto, shout out to my boy Dawson. You're going down, Bucko.
Unbelievable. Give us a little preview. If in a month and a half Rami said if the Dodgers win the World Series, he'll be putting on this outfit and I'm telling you, I'm going to make it the whole podcast. You have to be wearing that for the whole time. The whole time. Like
I can't wait.
When you get pissed off, I still need to be wearing the hat and the glasses just for the bit.
I cannot wait.
So thank you guys. We had over 700 people watching us. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. So guys, thank you guys so much. We will see you guys with another video and more articles on bodyslam.net very soon. Thank you guys.